What's up, everyone? It's Hector here with another Wrestling Championship Bout replica review and a comparison, something I want to call the Big Gold Extravaganza, because I bought 3 different WCW Championship Bout replicas, and I wanted to compare them and see which was the best in quality and in accuracy to put up and display next to all my other belts. But again, this is the WCW World Heavyweight Championship Big Gold, not the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Big Gold, which I have behind me. They're all considered the Big Gold, but there are a number of variations between the WCW version and the WWE version. Same with the original Fandu Big Gold. That was based off the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, not the WCW Championship, World Heavyweight Championship, whichever you want to call it. The Fandu Lux was based off the original WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which I don't have at this time, but I would love to buy in the near future. And I started with the WWE Shop WCW Championship, but then I went with 2 Figures Toy Company versions. This one was licensed by the WCW and manufactured back in 1998 with the Figures Toy Company. This was a few years later, I think in 2003, again by the Figures Toy Company. So let's just start off with the oldest and then make our way up to the newest. So this version, again, licensed by World Championship Wrestling back in 1998, manufactured by the Figures Toy Company. It is really detailed, really nice, but the plates are only 1 millimeter thick. So they are the thinnest plates probably you can get on a Figures Toy Company belt. But this was like one of the very first replicas that they made, at least for WCW. I don't know about Figures Toy Company altogether. Still, it's a really nice quality design and everything. The etching, of course, isn't that thick since the plates are really thin. And then the globe, the crown, the wrestlers, the nameplate, all of that stuff is added on. I would think it's screwed on the back, but I'm not 100% sure, because on the back of the belts, you can't take off the plates. They just have these like sort of bolts in there. And I guess you can pop them out, but then you wouldn't have any way to screw them back in, and it would be off the strap. So yeah, you can remove the nameplate. There are 2 screws for that. All the nameplates are removable and interchangeable, but there's some slight discrepancies with that. I'll talk about the nameplates a little bit later. I'm just sticking to the design right now. Also, interesting side note. So this original WCW replica version, right here on my right, your left, I believe. These are the female snaps, and then on this side, these are the male snaps. For some reason, on all the other replicas, they switch the snaps. So the female snaps are right here on this belt, but on all the other WCW Championship belts, the male snaps are on this side and the female snaps are on that side. So just a little side note. Little interesting tidbit. I already talked about how thin the plates are, so it's pretty easy to bend if you want to curve it. Not really sure what the plates are made out of. Back in 1998. There might be some rattling with these 2 versions of the WCW Championship belt when you knock on them. And that's because of the jewel holder that's all around the main plate and the side plate. There's 4 on the side plate, I believe 8 on the main plate, and it has the little fake ruby in the middle. So on the Figures Toy Company versions of the WCW Championship, the jewel holders are separate from the plate. So you put the jewel holders on the plate, and then you screw in the screw from the bottom, and it sandwiches the plate between the screw and the jewel holder. That's how it is for both of the Figures Toy Company WCW Championship belts, but not the WWE Shop belt. And I'll talk about the WWE Shop belt last. And an interesting another note, so you can usually buy replacement jewel pieces, jewel holders or whatever, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but not from the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Because the Figures Toy Company has their own website called the Wrestling Superstore, And they sell a number of replacement pieces and accessories. You can even buy more nameplates that are all etched in there and everything. You can buy the WWE World Heavyweight Championship replacement jewels with bigger rubies, but not the WCW replacement jewels. I have no idea why, but they just stopped making or selling the replacement jewels for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship replicas. And now let's move over to the second version of the WCW Championship, also manufactured by the Figures Toy Company, but this particular version was licensed by the WWE and manufactured back in 2003. So this replica has curved plates, both on the main plate and on the side plates. But other than that, it seems to be the exact same replica as the 1mm version. So it has 2mm plates and it's more curved. But other than that, it just seems like the exact same replica as the original WCW Championship from 1998. Well, it was only about 5 years difference, so I guess there wouldn't be any reason to like completely redo the belt design. The globe seems to be exactly the same. The crown seems to be the same. The wrestlers seem to be the same. The jewel holders, everything seems to be the same, except this is in better quality, as you can see. Much better gold plating and shininess. I'm not even 100% sure if this was like mirror finish shiny when it first came out. It might have still been kind of matte metal or whatever, but I would assume that it would still have the same gold plating when this one was brand new. And they are the same size. I measured it. For some reason or somehow, these still seem to be the same size plates from the left to the right, even though this one is curved. So maybe if you flatten it out, maybe it'll be a little bit larger than this one, but I'm not 100% sure, and I do not want to flatten it out. But well, an upgrade from the original WCW version is all the screws in the back, so you can actually unscrew all the plates from the belt, re-leather it, put it on another replacement strap, whatever you want. But the jewel holders, remember, once you unscrew it, the jewel holder will pop out, and the Figures Toy Company just stopped selling replacement jewel holders. And finally, we have the WCW World Heavyweight Championship from the WWE Shop, an official, authentic, adult-size replica. So these plates are 5mm thick. It goes 1mm, 2mm, 5mm. And since it is so thick, it has super thick etching. And these relief plates, the globe and the crown, they're a lot bigger and thicker when compared to the original WCW Championship replicas. I'm not sure if that's a better thing, because when you really look at the quality and the accuracy, the crown just looks more square or something compared to the original Figures Toy Company crown. And then the globe is completely different from the WWE Shop version. So both of the globes have textured continents, but the Figures Toy Company has some more continents on the east side of the globe, while the WWE Shop doesn't seem to have any continents on the east side of the globe. And also the lines going from the left to the right side of the globe, west to the east, they're switched. On the original Figures Toy Company globe, it had this thick line followed by 3 tiny lines, then another thick solid line, then 3 tiny lines, and thick solid line, something like that. The WWE Shop flips it, and it has 1 tiny solid line, and then 3 spaced out lines, and then 1 tiny solid line, and 3 spaced out lines. So I don't know why, but they completely switched the design of the globe. The crown is too thick. I don't know. I just don't really like it. But the wrestlers, they seem about the same size, maybe a little bit thicker. The problem is the accuracy. The WWE Shop version of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship just lacks so much accuracy, and you can see it when you look at the wrestlers. You look at the wrestlers from the Figure Toy Company WCW Championship, you can actually see hair, you can see boots, you can see the straps on their singlet, You can see so many details, but when you look at the WWE Shop version, it's pretty much smooth. You can kind of see the straps from the singlet. You don't see any hair, any facial features, anything else like that. I guess you can kind of see the boots. But just when you compare the two, the Figures Toy Company belt just has so much better accuracy on the wrestlers, and the globe looks better in my opinion. And then when we come to the jewel holders, that is the absolute worst part of the WWE Shop replica of the WCW Championship. So as I kept saying, on these versions, the jewel holders are separate pieces that the screws screw into. On this one, the jewel holders are part of the plate, and then they're just sort of etched into the plate with this horrible circle that has like these faint lines that are supposed to be the outside of this jewel holder, and then on the inside of the jewel holder it has some other etched design that's not even the same quality or detail as the Figures Toy Company belts. So when you're comparing the WCW World Heavyweight Championship replicas, the Figures Toy Company version just seems to be far more accurate than the WWE Shop version. Yes, the WWE Shop version does have thicker plates and deeper etching, but that's pretty much all it has going for it. Figures Toy Company belt just is far more accurate and has that better gold coloring, in my opinion, and most collectors' opinions. And now, let's knock on the plates so you can actually hear the sound of the plates. I really don't know what metal the Figures Toy Company versions made or used, but I know the WWE Shop version has a zinc alloy metal plate. That's the WWE Shop. Now the Figures Toy Company 2mm. A little bit different, but still pretty solid. And now the Figures Toy Company 1mm. Yeah, that one sounds really cheap. And the last thing I want to talk about are the nameplates on the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. So when you buy a replica, it comes with a blank nameplate, and you have to buy an etched nameplate separately, either from the Figures Toy Company at thewrestlingsuperstore.com or from some other manufacturer that just makes nameplates. All of these nameplates seem to be interchangeable. The posts that fit the screws are the same distance apart. The only difference are the thickness of the plates. Of course, the WWE Shop version has 5mm thick plates, and the Ultra Deluxe versions of the Figures Toy Company belts have 4mm thick plates. So the original nameplates and the original screws will not fit the WWE Shop version or the Ultra Deluxe version of the WCW Championship. Apparently you have to get different screws or longer screws to even fit through this main plate and reach into the nameplate. And also, when you take off this blank nameplate from the WWE Shop version of the WCW Championship, the posts and the screws are far thicker than the Figures Toy Company version. So you cannot use the same screws interchangeably to fit the different nameplates. You can use, I'm pretty sure you can still use this thick nameplate on these thinner Figures Toy Company belts. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. I'm pretty sure the posts are still the same distance and the thickness should fit through the holes, but the screws must be the same screws used on this same nameplate, because if you try and use these screws for this nameplate or these screws for this nameplate, it's not going to work. They won't fit. And that's all I have to say about the WCW World Heavyweight Championship replicas. If you like this big gold extravaganza or appreciated me doing it, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can also leave a comment telling me which is your favorite big gold. Do you like the Figures Toy Company versions, or do you like the WWE Shop version? You can also subscribe to my channel for more Wrestling Championship belt replica reviews and comparisons. I have some more belts behind me that I have to review and some that I have reviewed. Same with my collectible figures over on this side. I have some that I have reviewed and some that I have yet to review. I also go to conventions, check out more collectibles, get autographs from wrestlers, and put a bunch of pictures and videos of that on my YouTube channel and on my website. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely subscribe. I'll see y'all later. And as always, keep on collecting.